Waitress helped 2 starving kids. Years later, they changed her life forever. 1987, and the Pinecrest Diner. With a tattered sleeve, Martha Jenkins, who was 58 years old, wiped the perspiration from her forehead. The economic downturn had taken a significant toll, and the diner's typical bustle had slowed down to a sluggish trickle. Near the end of the day, 2 people appeared in the booth beside the fogged-up glass. They were a boy, about 10 years old, and his younger sister, possibly 7 years old. Their clothing were filthy yet tidy, and their eyes were big despite the fact that they had emaciated cheeks. While they were examining the menu with a sad level of interest, they were holding a $1 note between their hands. Let us know where you are watching from, and what time you found this video. The tremble in their hands, as well as the quiet manner in which the kid quietly moved the laminated menu towards his sister, were all things that Martha saw immediately. A hushed voice could be heard from the youngster as she approached, asking for 1 grilled cheese, "Please, ma'am, to give away." He spoke with a stuttering voice, and his knuckles were white on the dollar. Martha's heart broke into pieces. Having raised 3 children by herself when her husband passed away in the mill, she was familiar with the shadow of starvation. It's not only the lunch that Martha brought you. 2 hot cups of tomato soup. "Soup's on special, darlin', free with sandwich tonight." Thick slices of buttered bread and 2 pieces of warm apple pie, chef's mistake, extra portions, were among the items that she delivered. Martha was able to piece together a few pieces of information while they ate in silence and with a frantic focus. Their names were Ben and Lily Carter. Their father had passed away, and their mother was ill. From a shabby trailer park, they had walked for a distance of 3 miles. Martha wrapped his fingers around the crumpled dollar that the youngster presented to him as he made the offer. Her voice was heavy as she continued, "You keep that for bus fare home, sugar." And she meant it. After that, she put a folded $20 note into his hand, which was her tip money from lunch. She did this in defiance of every law and her own limited budget. "In order to get milk, to make bread, for the sake of your mother. Do not dispute with me at this time." The boy's eyes began to flood up with tears. An unspoken promise was exchanged between them as he gently gripped her hand. He trembled out, "We'll pay you back," as he spoke. Martha just put on a sorrowful smile. "Just get home safe." The passage of time was arduous and unrelenting. There were many times that Martha thought of Ben and Lily, and she prayed silently for them. The $20? Simply a drop in the ocean of what they need. She never anticipated receiving anything in return. The years went by. Someone else took over the eatery. Martha was a retired woman who lived in a cramped apartment, her knees hurting, and her finances being very modest. An instance of rebellion against a terrible reality, the recollection of that night turned into a narrative that was both bittersweet and bittersweet. In the course of many decades, Martha's little abode was visited by a sophisticated envelope, letterhead with an embossed design and thick paper that reads, "The Carter Foundation Nourishing Futures." There is a letter written by hand inside. "Greetings, Mrs. Jenkins. You won't be able to recall the $20 note or the dollar bill, the grilled cheese, the soup that warmed our bones, the pie that tasted like hope, and the hand that curled around ours are all things that we remember. Not charity cases, but children were what you saw. During that night you nourished not just our bodies, but also our faith in the kindness of the world. Please join us on Saturday at 7 o'clock as our guest of honor. Please find the address below. To express my unending thanks." The Carters, Benjamin and Lily Martha, trembling, arrived to a gorgeous contemporary art gallery located in the downtown area. Because she was perplexed, she was led inside, and there, in the middle of well-dressed throng, were 2 grown-ups who were dazzling. Currently, Benjamin Carter is a well-known agricultural scientist who specializes on developing sustainable food systems for areas who are economically disadvantaged. In close proximity to him was Lily Carter, a well-regarded artist whose expansive canvases represented resiliency and the beauty that lies under the surface. Following a series of emotional hugs, Benjamin gave a speech, and his voice reverberated across the silent gallery. "Martha, thanks to that $20, our mother was able to recover from her illness. But it was the love and dignity that you showed to us that turned out to be our moral compass. It demonstrated to us that a single act of genuine compassion has the power to change the course of a person's life." Martha followed Lily as she made her way to the pièce de résistance of the show, which was a magnificent and realistic painting named The Pinecrest Diner, 1987. The faded booth, the misty window, two little figures eating with calm intensity, and Martha, not as a saint, but as a tired, lovely lady pouring soup with furious compassion, were all shown in the painting. The amount of detail that was there was astounding, including the broken coffee cup, the rising steam, and the protective angle that Martha's body was at. "This," Lily continued with tears flowing down her face, "is the moment when humanity arrived back to us. There are no plans to sell this painting. It is yours now." On the other hand, the real change occurred after that. Benjamin moved ahead on his walk. The repayment of $20 is straightforward. To repay hope is an unending process. The Carter Foundation provides financial support to community kitchens, school nutrition programs, and projects aimed at ensuring food security. Tonight marks the beginning of our most important project. He made a motion toward a sign that was hung on the wall but was covered. The following was revealed with a flourish. Martha's Table is a community diner and resource center that offers opportunities, dignity, and sustenance to those who are in need. I was moved by the bravery of a single lady. In the next month, opening on Elm Street. It wasn't enough to just recognize Martha. She was also given a purpose. Not only did the Carters give her the painting as a present, but they also assigned her a permanent and significant position as the heart of Martha's Table, which is a symbolic representation of it. Her lived experience helped shape the organization's philosophy of unconditional respect, and she became a valued advocate for the organization by sharing her story with volunteers. By exchanging her cramped apartment for a quaint cottage in close proximity to the restaurant, she was able to secure a trust that would provide her comfort during her whole life. The distinctiveness of the narrative is not found in unexpected riches, but rather in a meaningful and active legacy. Not only did Ben and Lily remember her generosity, but they also used it as a weapon to bring about systemic change. They incorporated her spirit into an organization that was working to combat the exact hunger that they had to suffer. Not only was the painting a present, but it also served as a visual statement about the beginning of their mission. The payment that Martha received was not monetary. Rather, it was a sense of purpose, a sense of community, and the concrete confirmation that her one act of daring generosity had grown into a forest of hope that fed literally thousands of people. During the darkest hour of the night, the tiniest light that is supplied may ignite constellations, as shown by the fact that her life was not only altered, but it was also magnified, reverberating through generations.